Come on, you guys. Oh, he got triggered. Oh, no. And the moment we've all been waiting for. I present to you... Wait, no, I did that last week. Oh, no, we're not going to redo this whole base, but we are going to be looking at something, well, connected. So last week I showed off my Angry Birds base, which is also Anti-Demolisher, which was the whole point of making it this way. However, we ran into some issues with the cops, specifically that they vomit and destroy things, and of course we don't want that. So I raised the Angry Bird signal to the sky, yeah, something like that, and asked the community for help. How do we handle the cops? And a bunch of you heroes rallied and came back with a lot of comments. There were a lot of comments of how to solve it, how to rebuild, how to change things up, ranging from fairly significant changes to having extra levels and changing the entry to some blocks and everything that I want to test out. So today I'm going to go through some of the comments and rebuild it, making some small changes and see if that's effective, and also some of my own ideas for how to fix the issues. The end result is to have the usual best horde base ever and Anti-Demolisher, and of course that it can handle the cops. So stay tuned for that. But before we start, I just want to thank everyone for the awesome support. I've seen so many new subscribers, new people commenting, and it's awesome. It's been a lot of interest for these bases. So thank you very much. And if you do enjoy this video and my other videos, I do hope I earn your subscription. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like, comment, all that. And of course, you can always share it with your friends. But a couple of things before I actually get into all the testing and remodeling. Firstly, I was making a reference to the best horde base ever, and this is not it. This is not the best horde base ever. That's not what the reference is. The best horde base ever is a reference to an old Alpha 16 base that I did, which has a lot of these basic concepts in it, but cannot handle demolishers. So I made a video about 2 weeks ago now, where I took the Alpha 16 concept and translated that into Alpha 18 without making any changes to see does it work. And of course, as expected, it has an issue with the demolisher. Some people are coming back saying, well, it's not the best horde base ever if you die. Well, that's fundamentally correct. However, it wasn't meant to be the best Alpha 18 horde base. It was just a concept that I called the best horde base ever in Alpha 16. So I hope that clears one point up. Secondly, yes, sometimes I die. It happens. When you create these videos and you're focusing on one thing, especially if you're trying to get demolishers to blow up, you might forget that you're standing too close, and that's always going to be an issue. Another thing that comes up is, hey, you're in God mode, it doesn't work. Well, it's a valid comment. I do admit I do go into God mode sometimes simply because it's a lot easier to make the video. For this base, I'm going to be in God mode not because the base cannot handle it otherwise, because I put in a number of, let me see if I can get in here. I put in a number of nice things in here in the back. For instance, I have these ones so I can survive explosions as well. Plenty of space and some bulletproof glasses here. That's not the reason. The reason is I've entered the deadly radiation zone. So when I was flying around to try to find a nice place that I could build, I inadvertently went too close to the border. So this is set into a mountain that is too close to the border, and I didn't realize that until I was toggling off the God mode when everything was built, and it's like, oh yeah, that's not good. So I'm going to be in God mode. It doesn't really matter for this base. The whole intention of this base is to be self-sufficient, that you don't really have to spend a lot of time killing the zombies, but that's the reason. So the only things that could really kill you is if the demolishers blow up right in front of you standing here, which obviously is where you would been standing behind here. Or secondly, maybe the cops vomiting at you over and over and you don't realize and you die. So don't do that. Otherwise, you are really safe until they break through. And the whole design is to prevent them from breaking through. And another concern that people have raised was that, well, this is a late game base. You know, you need all this stuff to make it happen. And actually, it's fairly true. You do need access to a lot of traps that if you can't craft them, you have to buy them at the traders, which can be pricey. But once you have the traps, which is effectively dart traps, electric fences, tripwires, Turrets are optional, but when you have all that, and of course blade traps, you can build it because, yes, it takes some concrete, but that's fairly easy to get just by mining. I actually, in Alpha 16, I built this one in literally, well, not this one, but my best port base ever, which is using this concept. It's just replicated on all the different directions. I built that within 2 hours on the stream, so it's actually fairly easy to make. Now, this one specifically, because it's set inside a mountain, it takes more effort to dig out, but that gives you a lot of the concrete to actually build the rest of the items. So it's actually not that bad to make in survival. But let's get into it. So the problem we're having is not the demolishers. So I spawned in a demolisher, and let me just see if I can get his attention. He will walk up here, he'll get into the water, he'll be triggering the blade trap because the tripwires, when you're having, and let me show that. He's probably almost going to be dead here. Oh, let me get into the correct mode. If you have a half block here with water on top, it basically means that he's the perfect height for triggering the tripwire. And the tripwire will then set the blade trap to spinning and the electric fence. And no other zombies actually will be triggering it. So it's perfect for that. Let me get back here again and restart it. So when he walks around, he's taking a lot of damage. And let me check LE, which means that, oh, he died. No problem. One of the reasons they didn't actually die previously when I was doing this horde was because I had made one slight error that made a huge difference. I'm going to put in 3 of them. Oh, all right, hold on. All right. Okay, that's not what I wanted. All right, let's get in. So now I spawned in 3 of them, and I suspect they're all going to die. I think they're all going to die before they make it very far. One has gotten past the first one. He's dead. I think the second is going to die. This one has gotten lost. He's still taking damage, but he's gotten a little bit lost. I don't know what he's doing. But he's going to die on the second one. So why did this not happen during the previous video when I was showing this off? Because they were making it straight all the way through here without dying. And 2 reasons. One, nighttime they run, so they're a little bit faster. Secondly, another thing that happened was that I had forgotten to set the power duration to multiple seconds. So what happens is that he walks past, he triggers the blade traps, but once he's past this line, oh, the electric fence line, which he normally does when he runs, he basically triggers it, ends up one behind, the blade traps would stop spinning unless there was another demolisher that was also triggering it. So half the time these blade traps were not spinning. So I increased this to 5 seconds, so it triggers it and it will keep spinning for 5 seconds. I probably should be increasing this to even more. Let's set it to something like 10 seconds, and that will mean that it will spin for 10 seconds even after he triggers it, which increases the likelihood of him taking more damage. So that definitely helps. So that's the Demolisher. The Demolisher gets killed fairly easily here, and even if they make it all the way up here, well, there are more blade traps here, and especially the dart traps. The dart traps just tear through most zombies, including the Demolishers, without setting off the C4. But I was having an issue with, and let's show that off as well. Let me pause the, and let me show radiated. Actually, let's do a normal COP actually, because they don't, you know, that's painful. Let's go in here. Right. So I have an issue with, or had an issue with the cops where, come up here. They come up here, and the first thing they do is that they stop and vomit. So this might take damage, and this one might take damage as well. And as they're standing here vomiting, they're dealing damage to all the blade traps depending on which angle they're at, and that's really bad. As you can see, they're also walking under everything, so they're not even being killed by the blade traps. Really, really bad, because it means that these ones take a lot of extra damage from the vomit, and which means that they're going to be degrading a lot faster. And we have a lot of zombies coming. Ouch. We have a lot of zombies coming up here, and you see the view is basically, if I'm standing behind, they'll vomit, and this one takes damage. And these one only have, let's see, it's 2,000 hit points. So if every vomit takes out 200-300 hit points, you can see that very quickly it's going to be broken down. So how do we fix that? And that's what all the commentary was about. So what were the suggestions to fix it? Well, one of them was to simply use arrow slits. If you put in arrow slits, the theory is that you can see the cops, but they can see you. If they can't see you, they will not be vomiting. So does this work? My concern is that they probably can see through the arrow slits. So let's see here. I'm standing behind here. Let's see. Will they be vomiting? Yep. Even standing here, I'm pretty safe. But you saw the blade trap took the max damage there. And okay, let me pause the AI. That did not seem to work at all. If I go through here, you'll see this one has already taken 200 damage. A little bit here and there. Another suggestion was, okay, so let's take this out because that one unfortunately is not working, was to basically put, and let me do advanced here, to put down some ramp blocks so that we can have a better view of, well, the closer we are, well, the zombies are to see to the blade traps, but while minimizing the zombies actually seeing you. So here I can have a fairly good view, and let me start the cops here. So if I'm standing back here, I can then, well, I can attack everything that comes up here without exposing myself too much. It's only when I get up here, then they actually see me and they start, you see, vomiting all over the place. So while keeping his one, you have a fairly reasonable angle. You can't get everything that is coming behind here, unfortunately, but you can at least see enough that you can repair. So this one would work in a pinch because you could still repair. You couldn't see anything, but you could repair and keep things going anyway. But you can't kill things when they come up because then you're in a really bad angle. So fairly all right. It doesn't solve the problem with the angle and, well, the vision on the cops, but it would solve the issue with being able to reach and repair things that are here, such as the blade traps. An interesting solution from my side was to use doors. So we're going to see, does doors block vision? So I'm going to put up some doors here. I'm going to rotate it like this, and the question is, does this prevent vision? Of course, I can see just a little bit. Then I was told probably if I break this down a little bit, I'll get better vision. Okay, so I now have two broken doors here, almost broken. They are still blocks, and I put the bulletproof glass just in case there's any vomit, so it doesn't destroy everything at once. And then I have a good vision actually. So if this actually works and blocks, then that would actually be really interesting. Let's see. Right. They didn't know where I am. Actually, this seems to actually work. So doors like this does prevent vision, and with a couple of bulletproof glasses in front, they actually don't seem to see me. What if I... Alright, that's actually... I'm stunned that that is working. So even broken ones are preventing vision. Let's get in a few more ones. Alright, they're still blocked. Now let's do this. Get in here. What if I... oh, let's get up here. What if I... Actually, no. Let's do this first. I can't put it. Oops. Okay, so I can't put that one now. If I do this. Oh. Okay, if I open the door, I can put... Alright, that's fine. That's weird. Well, let's move on. Alright, so... I have to go down because it's actually blocking otherwise. They definitely don't see me. What if I open it? Oh, so if I open it, they can see it, but otherwise... Right. Do they see me? No. They definitely don't seem to see me here. So this seems to be a fairly ingenious solution. If you have the closed door, but you break them down a little bit, they can't see you. Oh, okay, so now they actually seem to trigger this one, I think, because they come off this this ramp. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, that doesn't hurt. It kills them. So they do actually block vision. So if we can't find a better solution, then I think this would actually work. You could see through. You can't shoot through, but at least you can see through. And they actually also seem to be triggering the tripwires now. That's really weird. That didn't really happen consistently before. All right, so they're almost as tall as the demolishers. Good. So at least the cops get taken out as well at the front. The downside, of course, is that, well, you can't shoot. You can get out here to shoot, but then here you have a really bad angle. You could push the doors to here, so that when you step out, and let me do that actually. Okay, what I've done now is I put in place bulletproof glass, which is good. It protects the doors that are almost busted that I broke with my candy cane. And I put them on the side so you can see here. But when you want to step out to shoot, you are in a better position without the blade traps actually blocking. So hopefully this is something that works as well. So let me restart the zombie area, and of course they don't know about me, so they don't see me. And now they are being taken out by the blade traps. Maybe I need to... Alright, let me need to take out the blade traps for just a moment. Actually, this is really good though. If the blade traps take out the cops and the demolishers, then that really helps. I placed down a few cops here, and let's do that. Let's make some noise and they'll be coming. And yeah, they don't seem to be seeing me. And of course they'll be trying and bashing these ones because they don't like them. But oh, what the... Oh, okay, no, alright, this is obviously not what it's supposed to be. There's not supposed to be a big gap here. I forgot when I took out the blocks that, yeah, I have to actually block it off. So yeah, but it means that they can't actually see. So this one would actually work. It's a little bit ugly, but it would actually work. Let me patch this up and let's try something else as well. One really easy solution was to simply make sure we are lower. So I'm going to take out these ones, which means that I am going to be lower. And that hopefully means that the zombies, when they vomit, well, the cops, when they vomit, is going to be shooting underneath all the blade traps. And this might actually be a really easy solution. So let's try that out. We're here. The zombies are there. I am one lower. They'll be coming in. Let's see. They are... Okay, that one would obviously deal damage to me. I'm going to just stand here to see... And I'm going to shoot them when they come up, just because they're already past. Okay, so... Question is, did this damage anything up ahead? So did these ones take in... Oh, this one I think was already, because I forgot to repair it. But this one, these ones are... Oh, this one took damage. And I think I repaired it. Let me try that again. As you can see, a bunch of the cops. Let's get them in. I've turned off the traps so they don't kill them. But let's see when they vomit. Does it just take me, or does it damage any of the blade traps? Damaging me is all right, because you know you can mitigate that by simply stepping out of the way and everything. All right, so I think that should be it. They've done all their vomiting, and the important thing now is to see if there's any damage. Oh, this one, yeah, this one. Oh, these ones are still taking damage. Why is that? On this one took damage. This one took damage. Well, this one is almost destroyed, so yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to prevent it. I think that is, yeah, it doesn't work. They probably a little bit too high in the from where the vomit is projecting, and that is causing the issue. Maybe if I go down even further, would that make a difference? Ooh, but now you have a problem standing. Let me do a half block, maybe. I can at least see something, else I'm going to be really short here. Right, let's see. This will still give me some vision. Okay, let me get in some more zombies. We're now really small, but they're coming in. I have repaired everything, so any damage that we see on the blade traps will be because of the zombies. Alright, these ones are up here, bashing. And okay, let's stop it here, because they are pretty much all past. Now let's see, is there any damage done to the blade traps? And this one is taking damage, which is a bad sign. This one's okay. Oh, this one took a lot of damage. A lot of damage. A lot of damage. No, okay, so going down even like this is unfortunately not sufficient. Somehow they still vomit straight and damage all the stuff. So we're gonna fill this out again. A suggestion that people were making was to put blocks here so that the blade traps are being protected, and I don't really have a problem. Well, two problems. One is that I don't have any, well, as you can see, I don't have any space to put in blocks because they're really close together here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually let's take this one out and let's put in, you see, if I put them up here, they will not be protecting the blade traps. If I put them here, they will be protecting the blade traps. But I believe, yeah, you see, if I can't get past, then the zombies can't get past. So protecting it with the blocks like this is not going to work, because if it blocks the vomit cop, oh, the cop vomit, it's also blocking, unfortunately, the zombies. Unless, let me try the half block. That is something that was possibly, let's do this. This might work because I suspect. Okay, I'm going to repair all this, and I'm going to try again. My suspicion is that this will still risk damaging these ones, because these ones, if you look from here, you can still see it. So as they're vomiting, they'll still be damaging it. But let me just get it repaired, and let me spawn in some zombies. Okay, we put in the blocks, the half blocks, and spawn in the zombies. And let's see, as soon as they come here, the question is, right, are they going to take... I suspect these ones definitely are going to take some damage. These ones... Alright, now they're up here. Let's see. This one definitely took damage because, well, that's where they are vomiting. These ones also damaged. These ones damaged. So the only way to protect them is to bring them down so that they actually don't get hit. And that's a bit of an issue. I mean, you could say that, hey, if I want to do like only like this, and doing that with full blocks, so that they only go in the middle, and this possibly would actually work. And if you're standing in the middle like this, it actually could work. So I'm going to try this out, because that would force them into the middle here, so that whenever they vomit, hopefully there's not enough splatter damage that it takes out anything else. And this might actually work. Zombies are spawned, zombies coming in, and everything has been repaired. Here they will obviously have vision, and they should be vomiting, which is just fine. But let's see, I'm standing fairly center here. And let's do this. Now the blade traps would all hit the zombies, so that's fine. That's not actually an issue. It means everything will be coming in the middle though. And, oh, damaged, damaged, damaged. Not damaged. This one is still damaged. So these ones are still taking some damage. It helps, but they're still taking damage. Oh, that's really annoying. What if I go down as well, so that it's only from the front and down? Does that help? We're very short here, but they will see as soon as they get here. But they're shooting, they're vomiting downwards. They do spread out a little bit, as you notice, and I think that's part of the problem as well. Because with a lot of zombies trying to go the same direction, they will block each other, especially when they're vomiting, and that means that they will be spreading out. You're not dead. And these ones do take some damage, and that's not really good, unfortunately. These ones also take damage, and that's actually... yeah, that's really bad. It basically means this doesn't help at all to be down here. Anytime they vomit at the player, everything else will take damage. And welcome to the Drooling Angry Birds Base. I guess that's just what the upgraded name is going to be. So what's the solution then? Now that we've tested out a bunch of things, and I'm actually going to put in a bit of everything, because I think they all have some merit, and together they will just help things along and make it work better. So one thing that I was putting in place either way, I extended such that actually the water corridor starts here. That means that they come in and they fall down, and they don't have this fall and movement right like here, because it means that they go up a little bit, and if they go up, it means that they will be more inclined to be vomiting on the blade traps. And something is... oh, I still have a block here. Oh, I have to remove it. This one needs to go. This one is no longer needed. Okay. So that means that they have the slow effect from longer, and it also means that, well, they come in and they're going to be on the same height. And now we have that issue with this one. Let's see if I can quickly fix it. Yep. Right. So I've also replaced the blade traps, obviously, and I've made such that the corridor is in a better place, so they come from the side, and once they're here and have vision down towards the player, assuming in the middle, they will not vomit on these ones as much. They will still be some splatter damage. I think that's unavoidable, but at least it'll be somewhat minimized. What I've also done, and let me put these ones to protect a little bit as well, is that I have connected these turrets to, well, this tripwire is such that you can see coming out from here from the wall, so that when this tripwire is triggered, which seems to be even cops now, and demolishers, these ones will go active and they'll hit them in the back. So demolishers come up, they'll be hit by the turrets. Cops come up, they'll also be hit by the turrets. So that can also help, I think. Moving forward, I have decided that I'm going to have a platform that is below as well. So it's one down, and the reason it's only one down is because I need a little bit of better vision here. If it's further down, I can't see because of this plank is in the way, but this works really well. I've also taken the broken door suggestion, not the broken window fallacy, but the broken door suggestion, because it seemed to work really well. So I'm, oh, don't destroy it entirely. I have my bulletproof glass here to guard against any stray vomit. I can sit here and I have a really good vision actually from the bottom, which actually was why having them go further down is even better, because you can see practically everything. You want to go out and shoot, you go out and shoot, and you come back, and any stray vomit is because you're in the middle and below, less likely to actually hit the blade traps, and if they do, it'll be less damage. It won't be straight on. And then you come back here and the bulletproof glass might take a little bit of damage. And because it's set back a little bit, there's still the full block health here, so I'm not interfering with that as well. And I put these on the side, so again, we keep the zombies in the middle as much as possible, because they'll still take the damage, but at least it means that the cops will not be going underneath or on the side as much. And that means that it'll be minimal, or less at least, cop vomit damage on the blade traps. So I'll probably have to redo more here with some stairs up and everything just to make it more convenient. But I think this is going to work really, really well. Only downside is that you see this open door, open door thing. You can see when I, well, oh, this one. So you still have this one all the time. And if you do accidentally open, then the cops will definitely see you. But you still have the bulletproof glass to protect you. Hopefully all these things mean that demolishers are taken care of, the cops are taken care of, and everything else is going to come up here and just melt from the dart traps, the shotgun turrets if I turn them on, and the blade traps. And standing here, you actually have a fairly good view, so you can actually repair. And if I want to go up and repair these ones, I can do that, I believe. Can I? Don't have any. If I do that, yeah, I can still reach and repair. So these four you can repair. Even though the further ones behind you cannot, but you can see you have a good vision, and I think that's going to really make a difference. So give me a moment, I'm going to set up and run a Blood Moon Horde for this as well, with something like 24 concurrent zombies, and we'll see what happens. And this is going to be interesting. So they will be coming in here 24 at a time, and they'll be spawning, I guess from the side, but that's fine. We do see a cop here running up. Decided to take a bash. They're coming from that side as well. The cop, yeah, it did trigger, and it did take some damage. And these ones, some of them, oh, because I have a 10-second delay, that's all right. So the rest of them come up here, that's all right. The 10-second delay definitely is being triggered, and it means that I am probably wasting a little bit too much ammo here, so I might have to have a separate tripwire there, so that I don't have to keep it running for 10 seconds, because it's just wasting all this ammo every time something is triggering it. And I think, no, the weight didn't trigger it. Cops do. So I am standing here, as you can see, behind. So I am nicely hidden. Yeah, the cop will definitely trigger it, and then because it's running 10 seconds, that's why all the ammo is being used here. And let me go back here. So the player is standing just fine here. I can come out and repair if I want to. I can probably do that from, yeah, here as well. If I want to go out and shoot, I can do that. Have a pretty good view, and if I want to hide, I can do that as well. There's going to be a lot of things piling up, but I think that's going to be unavoidable. It's a high game stage, that's why you're seeing all these radiated, but I can stand here and I can really see a lot of things. I actually have a pretty good view here as well. Oh, that's nice. This is probably a better place to go out and shoot because of the angle. Otherwise, they're all in the middle. But you see all these are being taken damage, and I can repair it. out here and repair it. So this works really, really well. And see that when I come out now, he got taken out by the turret there, which is fine. Okay. So let's see, I do that. It is 24 concurrent. And this is working really well. You see the cop here. He's not vomiting. And he's coming all the way up here and he dies. Let's hold on. I thought I turned this off. Hello, you've been turned off. I don't want to have you there. Let me turn everything off here. Because they're a little bit annoying. And let me actually manually spawn in a Demolisher zombie. So this is where it's going to be interesting. See if we can get the zombies to Demolisher. Okay, the Demolishers are coming in now. They get a bit lost, unfortunately, because they're not feral. Alright, now he's running. And come on, you guys. Alright. Oh, he got triggered. Oh, no. Okay. Turrets in the back. Not the best way of dealing with it, unfortunately, because it does seem that because of some of this bumping, they're also shooting in a way that it can trigger the Demolishers. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Well, let's restart the horde here and see if we can get him to... No, he's going the wrong way. See, these Demolishers are not very clever. But anyway, I replaced things and I disconnected the turrets. This one's probably require more consideration here, simply because they are risking hitting him in the back. No, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't hear me. Let's see if I use that. Yep, now, okay, now he does. So the zombies are coming in and the Demolishers as well. And he gets... Oh, he got beheaded. Nice. Let's... see if we can get in some more Demolishers, because those are really where we are seeing potentially some issues. So, alright, so a bit of noise. They come in here. And they are being taken care. I do have a potential concern of them being turned around and bumped by zombies, and that's why you see they got turned around by the blade trap. And if the turrets were shooting, they would have definitely triggered them. But you see now, I don't know why they're going that way. Oh, they got turned around and decided to go a different way. Well, that's fine. Yep. So, I think that, well, what have we learned? Let's pause the AI a little bit. So what have we learned? I think that these ones work really well. There is a huge danger with these ones, that if the Demolishers make it all the way through here, these ones can and will trigger the Demolishers. And even though, as you see, the damage is not huge on the front, obviously it's a lot more damage that you want them. You see they took out the blade traps, not this one, but it took out the one that was here that was damaging it. And some of the water, some of the blocks are definitely heavily damaged. And that is the problem when you get the blade traps in the correct or incorrect height. And I was almost forgetting here. Another comment that came in was actually to use these T-blocks in order to get some vision, but prevent the zombies from actually seeing you. So, let me see how I put them in. I think he was saying to put them like this, I guess. These ones like this. And can you see if I can get them upside down? I guess the... Right, so something like this, which, yeah, I guess so. So the question is, does this actually prevent vision? It would be nice if it did, because then you could actually stand here. So I'm going to test this out as well. I have my cops over there, and oh no, they definitely see me here. If I'm down here, do they see me? Oh no. Okay, so they definitely see me. Okay, so this didn't help at all, unfortunately. Ooh, they saw me without any issues, so this is too much. I don't think the configuration of how you put them matters, because this is probably the smallest you can achieve, and they definitely saw me anyway. As you see here, they will be coming up, and yep, they're definitely vomiting on me. So yeah, this doesn't work either. Too bad. But my final version for this time is obviously with these doors here, so they block the vision. I've taken out these blade traps because they risk setting off the demolishers. What I've done instead is that I have connected dart traps here, so that as the zombies, well, especially the demolishers and the COP run past, they will be hit by the dart trap from each side, which means that they will take damage and hopefully don't make it all the way here, because you want to keep them away from the front. Now with these ones removed, it might not matter, because once they get up here, they'll take even more damage from the dart traps on the side, but just in the abundance of caution, hopefully this is sufficient. So I'm going to start a Blood Moon Horde, and I'm just going to sit back and observe and see what happens. And it is the hour of reckoning, another Blood Moon Horde after we've remodeled here. Okay, we have another Blood Moon Horde here. And they are coming down the mountain, which is fine. They're all going to be running down, which is also fine, taking some damage, sort of like it's a pit trap or fall trap. And as they run in here, one thing I'm noticing here, this time the cops are not setting off the blade traps. Really, really weird. But either way, they come up here, and without the blade traps, it does take a little bit longer to take out the zombies, especially having 24 concurrent. But as you can see, it's really weird. The blade traps are not being triggered. Everything is working just fine. I mean, they don't really have any time to attack anything. But you will notice that the cops are not triggering these tripwires. I'm not really sure why. Let's have a look at him. He's coming in. It's the same height. Nothing has changed. And he's not triggering it. He's going under. Really, really peculiar. Let's see if we can spawn in a demolisher. Hey, come on. Oh, he doesn't know where to go. Come on, you're going the wrong way, sir. Come on. Okay, he's gonna run in here. He's gonna... Yeah, he triggers it, so he's fine. So there's something happening with the cops. Sometimes they trigger the tripwires and sometimes they don't. You see here, it doesn't. And... oh, the demolisher died. The cops are not triggering any more this time, which is really peculiar. So somehow, cops are no longer triggering it. Not that it really matters. It would be nice, but it means that these ones are going to last longer. And let me get in just some demolishers again. And let's shoot a bit so he knows where I am. And he'll definitely be hit by the blade traps. He'll be hit by the dart traps. It is wasting maybe a couple of dart traps as it goes through. But, oh, dead. Demolisher died. Let's see, can we get any more Demolisher out here? Alright, we're just getting in a lot of cops, so let's get in a couple of ones here. Hello, sir. Can you hear me shoot now? What about if I do this? Yeah, now you hear me. This is not, if I spawn them in, he's not part of the Blood Moon Horde, so he doesn't necessarily know where I am until I make some noise. But it works really, really well. See, he gets killed. He just gets massacred now. The dart traps and with the blade traps together do a really good job. Nice. And let's get the last one here. See, he comes in, triggers, gets hit by extra blades, takes extra damage. He moves ahead, takes more damage, and goes to the second one. More damage from the blade traps, and he gets killed. Really nice. And again, sometimes the cops seem to trigger them. This time when I restarted, it didn't, but at least the demolishers get taken out. You see, now they are just melting. They don't even get past the first or the second one. Oh, really, really good. So I think this way, even if I'm not actively doing anything here, as you see, I'm not even fighting. I'm just standing behind, which means that the cops are not going to be vomiting. If I do want to fight, that's all right. Slide out here, have a pretty good view, shoot them, and if I want to go out and just repair, I can do that. Not that there's any, oops, there's no blade traps here to repair anyway. Oh, I think he saw me there. Really good. So I think this way we have solved the problem with the cops, because they get taken out by the dart traps that they gotta get up here. The demolishers definitely get melted. They have no issue with making it all the way through. And if you have a playthrough or a restart of the world where the cops are triggering the tripwires, then they definitely don't make it this far anyway. And of course, there'll be some damage taken here. They've taken out a few already, but this definitely should last a fair while because these ones are doing really well. I think they only break down when they're down to 500 or something. So 24 concurrent zombies, not an issue. And that's interesting. They're falling down here. Good thing I have an opening here. So they are coming and spawning all over the place. Now they're spawning here because I'm moving around, and it seems to work really, really well. So with that, we have the Drooling Angry Birds horde base with the Anti-Demolisher traps. It'll take care of the demolishers using the doors. We are also able to hide from any of the cops, which of course is really helpful as well. Even as I sit here crouching, I can have a really good view, but the cops will not be vomiting at me, and all the zombies will just be melting. Only downside is not really easy to loot, at least during the horde. Maybe if I was doing something underneath, but I'll look at that in the future. I hope you've enjoyed me modifying this based on the commentary that all of you have been providing, and let me know what your base ideas are. What's your favorite base of dealing with not just cops but demolisher and zombies in general, even as the game stage goes up and the concurrent zombie count goes up as well? How do you handle all the zombies? I'll catch you next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.